What's going on, you guys, and welcome back to Stranded Alien Dawn. I'm in the process of being attacked. It's not a problem, though. They're already lying in wait to die. Go ahead and unpause it so they can die that much faster. So it is year 7, day 1. Just finishing off an attack from the year before. Let me take a quick survey of the area so I know what's going on a little bit better. Alright, so I have some salvage that's available. The Xenoblight is ever present. Let's get that targeted. Alright, so this is the area I'm going to add the animals once I get to that stage. My food, my non-edible resources. My first wood, stick, and hay farm, and then the upgraded version. Oh yeah, I think I have enough. Let me fast forward this. I've got 11 left that need to die. Handful over here bleeding to death, and a few more over here bleeding to death as well. Well, they just finished off. No, I stand corrected. No, now they're dead. Then we just got this one right here, the lone survivor. 2, 1, be gone. I had to do nothing. I literally stood there. My turrets don't even do much. The only time the turrets kick in is when there's a flyer swarm, which, as you can see, it takes them down quite efficiently. Well, you can't see it in this video, but you can see the aftermath of the last video and the fact that all of my survivors don't have a single scratch on them. Downside, 3 of those are in need of repair. One of them, the middle one, really needs to get fixed. The other 2, well, they probably need a CPU or a little bit of metal. One of the 2. I'm a little low on both at the moment. Okay, so let me take a quick look at my resources. I don't really have any electronics. I have some CPUs. Okay, got CPUs. That's good to see. But the electronic need, I believe that is, yep, that's why I have Gen out on these, actually, well, I should actually select this one. Nope, on second thought, I'm not going to. It seems like every time I clear out one of these, there's a second one lying below it, so I'm not going to really mess around with them right now. However, I will take the metal that I just realized was right there. Look around over here. I'm not seeing any metal besides that right there. A little bit of food, a little bit of hay, some sticks, and some salvageables. Okay, so that means... I can't send anybody on a mission. I'm running out of fuel and I need to conserve the last of it here in case I get a mission that is extremely beneficial. Now, these missions are generally the ones where, I think it's called the self-destruct mission, where I can get some sort of researches. Yeah, and the researches that unlock are over here on the breakthroughs. I got the improved railgun sniper, among a couple other things. This is one of them, the battery. Now, the battery normally, if you look in the left-hand side where it says integrity 100 out of 100, the section below that where it says 2000 out of 2000, normally the battery only holds 1000. So, again, I'm waiting for those specific resources to help me unlock beneficial research. And until then, I can't really do anything. And I believe I have a mission for gasoline. But this one really doesn't give me a whole lot. Let me send Simon out to show you. Simon's one of my better gatherers. He's got a 10 out of 10 on physical, which usually helps when it comes to harvesting from the missions or harvesting from nodes or whatever. I believe it just mostly works on the expeditions, but don't quote me on that. And I've played this game a handful of times. I'm no expert on it. I'm still relatively new to this game. Only have 400 hours into it. But I've been hitting it hard. It's been a really enjoyable game. There's the varying levels of difficulty, starting off from, well, it's not even really easy mode in the get-go. It's just you don't really have access to anything and lack of survivors. But once you begin to amass resources, amass technology and research, as well as observations of plant life and creatures, you can begin to build something amazing. Had to finish my coffee there. Alright, so for these three right now, I have 2 of them pumping out metal from the ore and then secondary from scraps. And then I have the concrete so that we can upgrade this little section here. I bet you gathered as much as you could. Let's see how much it was. At any moment now he'll come back down. Or not. Ken will probably find more salaries than he will. And so I need 8 electronics, 61 metal, 195 concrete. The concrete will get taken care of in this video. Now the easy way to tell the difference between concrete and the stone, if you look above, you can see in the top middle it starts off with the scrap metal, and then you have hay, you have that red plant, whatever it is. You have the sticks, the wood, then you have the stone. The stone it's almost the same color. It's a slightly grayer color than the 185 that you see there for the concrete. On top of that, it doesn't have that rectangular look that the brick, which is right next to the stone, has an appearance of. Yeah, I don't want that one. And then you have the concrete, which looks like a bag almost. Oh, I found 60. That's not too bad. Okay. Well, I'm still gonna hold off, just in case, And then in the last video, a massive power overhaul with the improved solar panel instead of the regular solar panel. I'm slowly but surely getting these up, at which point I might consider dismissing the regular solar panel and opting to build the better one in its place. Or I might just go about, stretching these along the perimeter or finding a better home for them, potentially over here. I might work on that in the next couple videos, and a couple of videos from now, I should say. Now I have other plans for these next couple of videos. The first one, I want to try and get a handle on my resources, first and foremost, and I want to get some better defenses. Now the better defenses, I want to get a couple more flak cannons. Oh, this one's turned off, that's why it's up in the air. Alright, so I want to get a couple more flak cannons, as well as the laser and machine gun turrets, which I've already have the spacing in between the flak cannons squared away for that. So yeah, I want to get some of that going, but first, I need to research. Nope, sorry, it's not something I need to research. It's something I have to craft. It's this AI core. I really need this. And once I get this, I'll be good to go. It only takes 3 CPUs, however, it takes 10 electronics, which I currently do not have access to. Ken isn't bringing them in, and I got something else instead. Let me see here. I believe I can send Ken out for the control module debris, I think. The last time I sent him out on it, he brought back some electronics. However, when I sent Simon out on it, which he has the slightly better physical, just by like 2 points, Ken will catch up. And Ken's been doing a lot of other things around the base, construction and whatnot, where Simon has been chopping down trees and smacking rocks. So obviously he's going to have more physical. But Ken will be caught up shortly. meaning he'll get the maximum amount of the pool that you can get from the expeditions. And him having the double scrap ability is very, very beneficial. Now, my least favorite time of the game, the nighttime, until we get the service drones, which point the service drones will keep the base active. They'll continue to harvest. On top of harvesting, they will go out here and they'll cut all this stuff. Well, I guess that's also incorporated into harvesting. So yeah, they'll cut, they'll sew, they'll cook, they'll scrap, which that's also harvesting. But, you know, the two bots, they do quite a bit around my base. The more you have, the more that's going to get done. But there's a certain extent to how many you actually might need, which most people usually just go dumb, that I've noticed. You know, I've seen a couple people, I'm not going to name names. You know, I don't want to be that general. It's like, oh, this guy, yeah, I'm smarter than him. No, I'm not here to rag on anybody or bring anybody down or say that I'm better at a game than anybody. You know, everybody has something to bring to the gaming community. But I forgot what I was going to say. I forgot where I was going. What the heck? My brain just shut down. Oh, yeah, sorry. The service drones, there's only a certain amount of them that you really need. Like with this, the delivery drone, like technically a maximum amount that you'll ever need is 2. You'll only ever need 2. I made the mistake my first playthrough in making like 3 or 4 of them, and only 2 of them were ever active. The other thing that I see a couple people making with the service drone is they have a ton of the service bot, but not as many of the harvest bot. Honestly, if it was me, I would have more of the service or more of the harvest bot, as I can have access to more resources quicker, and all of my food would always be, planted. It would always be harvested. Anytime something needed to be grabbed up, it would instantly be picked up. I would only have like a couple of the service bots, like 2 at most, 1 to cook and 1 to reset traps. I mean, even with this right here, since it doesn't need to sleep, it'll just constantly go through, and by the next time I get attacked, all of these will be reset with just 1, maybe at most 2. And then you also want that 1 service bot to be cooking. So 2 service bots, in my opinion, is what I feel is the maximum you need, and then maybe at most 4 harvest bots. But that's a bit on the excessive side. 1 harvest bot's more than enough, because it takes place of the survivor during the nighttime as well as the daytime. So you'll always have somebody in the field. Always have somebody in the field, assuming that there's something to work on in the field. So if you have a couple different farms, that service bot will always be busy. Alright, so I have 2.2k wood, which means I am going to begin the construction of the rest of this perimeter. Do I need to craft it up? And I've been holding it out mainly so that I could amass the stockpile, so I can get it all, thrown up together at once. This one. Okay. So I'm gonna do 1 flank first, and then I'll see how much wood I'll have afterwards. That one. Okay. No, who cares? I'm going all out. Let's get this completed today. Or at least attempt to, And the final little stretch of over here. I'm going to leave this section for last. It's not as important as I don't have any of the creatures available yet, so there's no point in building up this region. Besides, I'm not entirely sure how I want to go about setting it all up, so I'm just going to leave it be for now. However, I'm already going through my wood. I went down 300 just placing a few of these, and the aggressive animals have returned. Let me see, where are they popping up at? After I select this for removal. Oh, there they are. Right in the front. Nope. Let's go ahead and pick up Ken, and by picking him up, I also grab everybody else. And at most, this might be the only thing that you'll ever have to do with your survivors. Now let's go ahead and witness a 300 animal. Oh, and you guys had to activate some of the traps. Don't even worry about that. That's not going to be a problem at all. None whatsoever. Yeah, you'll be able to witness what 300 little bugs aren't going to be capable of doing. Oh yeah, my base is going to hold them. Here they come. Let's get that going forward a little bit, a little faster. And as you can see, they're making the split. 100 on the left, 150 on the left, 150 on the right. They took a playbook out of Dragon Ball Abridged playbook. Poor Vegeta. Poor Vegeta. The man got done dirty. Yeah, here we go. Now we get to sit back and watch as all these bugs bleed to death. The second they touch the first trap, they lose half their health, right? Lose half their HP, and they begin the bleeding process. Every time they touch another one, if it doesn't snare them, it activates even more bleeding and removes that much more HP. But keep in mind, these bugs are the very, very bottom of the barrel. They have the least amount of HP, the least amount of attack. So, this just goes to show you what this simple layout, it is cost effective, or it is cost heavy, but it is extremely effective. It just takes a little while to reset all the traps. Let's go ahead and deselect everyone. Go ahead and go about your day, as they're all dead. Just like that. 300 bugs. Made it about halfway through either side. That means each side can handle 300 apiece. And that's just the first row here, you guys. That's not including this long stretch or any of this here. This can handle a lot of enemies. And keep in mind, the reason that they made it a little bit further over here is pretty much this entire row was already pre-activated, as well as some of this one, I think, by one of the random animals that walks around. This little guy. He activated it, and I think he's still bleeding. Yep, still bleeding. Non-life-threatening until, it's life-threatening, because it's not going to stop. That animal is SOL. Okay, so let me see here. I'm going to need a massive amount of wood still. That one was also stuck in the trap. I'm taking a quick look around in all directions. I'm thinking over here might be a viable location. For some more wood. Sorry about that hiccup just then. I don't understand why me and coffee, it just doesn't mix. I love coffee to death, but every time I drink it, I get a weird, weird case of the hiccups. And I can't put my finger on it either. Alright, chop, and might as well mine. Okay, re-angle so that I can see what I'm doing, or not. Let me see, giants tree, I want to keep the giants trees just because I can't plant any of them, so I want to leave them around. Now, just in case I want to repopulate the surrounding area with trees, I can at least have a rough idea of where I'd like to place them by this big old boy. Because I will do a little bit of terraforming to the exterior. As you can see, you can place down things, and then by removing the field itself, the plant stays with the harvest. So as the seasons come and go, you can have extra food outside the gate, just in case all of yours goes up in flame. But I do want to kind of change the scenery around a little bit. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. And this is my My favorite time of the year. Right in the beginning of the wet season, and when the xenoflora blight's at its highest, as you can see that green mist that was surrounding us, that was the blight in full effect. So plenty more that got infected, and will be infected, if Edmund doesn't get a handle on it, and soon. Oh, I'm going to step away for a moment, meaning I can't see what's going on the screen, so if anything bad happens, oh well. But I need some coffee. And I also need to fill up my Keurig. Yay! My favorite thing in the universe. Nah, it's a necessity. It has to be done. So, my apologies if the sound of the Keurig is rather loud, or if the pouring of the water sounds like I'm urinating and it causes somebody to pee their pants. You should have went to the bathroom, buddy. Just saying. That was a bad joke. I'm sorry. I'll stick to my gameplay and no more jokes. No more IRL. Well, no more ranting. And I listened to the rant I went off on the other day, and not gonna lie, it almost made me contemplate removing the video. But you know what? I did say that if something I said in partial anger, it's generally how I feel. So I'm not going to remove something because of the fact that there's a little bit of anger in the video. It's not like I was calling every single person in America an idiot. I was just calling the idiots an idiot. The ones that felt like I was targeting them. Those are the people that need to do better with themselves. I myself am guilty of not doing the best that I can. I can't tell you how many times my wife has told me, I need your help with this, and you're not doing it. Like, so many times. They say happy wife, happy life. I don't listen to that. And it shows. I try my best with my wife, you guys. I don't pay as much attention as I should, but I try. Yeah, that just goes to show you. Even I need to do better. I'm not the greatest version of myself. I can definitely see that. And I don't see the greatest in anybody else. There are some, don't get me wrong. They're far and few between. The greater masses make them seem like few and far between. But honestly, I think my biggest problem with people is when you gather together. When people amass in large groups, especially when you're in groups with your friends, you guys kind of notice that you go a little more to the goofy and irrational side of things. I mean, you don't act like you would if you were by yourself. So my main problem with people is when we gather, we lose our minds. We become idiots. Let's just be perfectly honest with ourselves. We lose it. I don't remember planting that. But okay. Yeah, we lose our minds. We turn into somebody else, which I've never been for that. I've always tried to be as genuine as I can. Again, the reason why I'm not removing the video. If I were to remove that content, I wouldn't be genuine with myself, my feelings, and none of that. So I can't do that. I refuse to do that. If it upsets anybody in what I said, then honestly, that message was for you. And you shouldn't be mad about what I said. You should reflect upon it. Because that's the main problem we have with our civilization nowadays. Everybody's quick to violence and slow to words. I'd rather just pull out my 9mm and put some holes in you. Why would I want to engage you intellectually when I can just shut you up real quick and forever? Rob your family of your life, your presence. But let's not get back into that. I just felt like I should explain a little bit how I feel. And I feel, I don't know. I guess you can listen to that video and you can already tell how I feel. Now, I don't really support the man himself, the individual in question in the video. I don't agree with some of what he preached. But that circles back to my my statement in that video saying, I have just as many Republican views as I have Democratic views. It's not about being unsupportive to a specific, faction, that's what I'm going to call them. You got the Republican faction, the Democratic faction. It's almost a gang at this point. With all of the violence that's perpetrated between the two, directed at one another, you might as well just be the Republican gang and the Democratic gang and just, go to war. But no, instead, they'd rather do that instead of doing what we used to do. Sitting down, exchanging ideas, communicating intelligently, conveying those feelings, emotions, thoughts, ideas, and then listening to the other person, because that's where growth comes from. Listening to another side, seeing the other half of anything. Honestly, you can't paint a full picture if you don't know both sides of the picture. You can't paint it unless you know the left and the right side. The Mona Lisa would look a little weird if it was just half painted, right? And that goes for everything in life. Without unity, there's just chaos. And don't get me wrong, my name might be Malice, but I'm only malicious towards the malicious. I troll the trolls. Now, if that's a call out to the other trolls, you're more than welcome to try. I've had several trolls attempt in other videos, not my videos, other YouTubers who I like to support. I've had some try. And then I get reminded about how unintelligent people are. Not everybody. It's usually the trolls that are... Not usually the trolls. Some of the trolls. Some of the trolls who, got touched by Unk and just have a whole bunch of pent-up anger to take out on the world. Didn't really pass high school. Honestly, didn't even pass elementary school. They're just there to unleash their toxicity upon the world. Just for the simple reason of unleashing toxicity. That's who I'm malicious towards. If you're doing you, we ain't got no problems. Keep doing you. But as I said in that video, I don't stand idly by when I see something that I don't like. I don't keep my mouth shut. I guess it's my autism. I have a very high sense of justice, even if it's against something that I don't support. Now, obviously, shooting somebody for any reason is unacceptable, unless they're a murderer and they themselves shot somebody. I'm all for an eye for an eye. You want to take somebody out, I feel their family should be able to take you out. That's how I was brought up. An eye for an eye. You want to pick on my brother? I'm going to pick on you and your friend. Being the oldest, I had to do that. I had to stand up for my little ones. And by little ones, I mean all my little siblings. God, there are so many of them. I'm the oldest of 8. Yeah, my mom was a rabbit. She's part rabbit. Yeah. Either that or she's part cat. No, she's part rabbit. Pumping out babies left and right. She loves little kids. She loved having little kids around her. She originally wanted to be a doctor, but then she made the dumb mistake of finding my father, and moron, getting knocked up by his idiotic self. Yeah, this guy didn't have too many brain cells to rub together. It's surprising that I even have half the intellect that I have. Honestly, everything that's wrong with me came from his side. I thank God my mom was, somewhat of an intellect, but she made a very dumb decision getting with my father. And just because he was a good-looking man. Women and, just getting with the good-looking guy, they're usually dumb. I'm not saying all good-looking people are dumb, but they're usually dumb. They're too busy worrying about how they look, what other people think about them, keeping up with the latest fashions, instead of actually learning about things that really matter, like how to change oil in your car, how to drive properly, how not to be a tool. very basic things that are very important in life. I know some people seem to have skipped that, and it shows. But as you guys can tell, I am not a channel that's going to spare your feelings in the slightest. This world is too chaotic and too dark for that. Nope. Unfiltered is what I give you. An unfiltered perspective into the mind of a veteran who has autism and ADHD. Yeah, my brain's it's a piece of work. But at the same time, even through all my PTSD, and I think it's honestly because of how much I smoke, and not tobacco, the other thing, you guys, medicinally. I think it's because of how much I smoke that keeps my violent tendencies down. All of us veterans, especially those who have taken a life or been thrust into a position where it was a life or death situation, it changes us. It changes an individual. It rewires the brain, and we begin to see the world in a different light. Some people have probably seen what it does to some through movies like Rambo or Chris Kyle, the thing that happened with the sniper. Another vet ended his life. Where just all of the problems that veterans have with marriages, and there's quite an extensive list with that, you guys. Like, military life changes you. The PTSD changes you. So you're getting an unfiltered, raw. Well, I guess that's what unfiltered means, right? Yeah, you're getting an unfiltered perspective of the autistic PTSD brain. It's chaotic. Sometimes I don't even know what's going on. I wish I did. It'd be nice. I might be able to steer the ship in the right course, but more often than not, it's on autopilot. I need to figure out how to control it. Sometimes it feels like I have absolutely no control, and that's the autism. It's hard to process emotion correctly. It's also hard to process, basic information correctly because of the ADHD. My brain's, trying to rapidly store it all while the autism's trying to hyper focus on one aspect, and then it's all gone. You guys have heard me talk. That's proof enough. I'll be going off on, I'll just be going and having a conversation talking about just anything, and then poof, it's gone. It's because my brain is trying to hyper process it while fixating on one specific thing, and also trying to do this other thing. It's trying to multi-process, and it crashes. It's a pain. Yeah, a little insight into the mind of a psychopath. I'm not a psychopath, though some days I feel like it. So how's everybody else's day going? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know what you think of the base. Let me know what you think I should do to improve it. I'm always up for suggestions. Currently have the 2 balloons because once I get a better fix on my fuel consumption, meaning once I get the ability to make gasoline, I'm going to start processing a ton of gasoline. And 2 hot air balloons with the hot air balloon upgrade, well, that's what you need. I might even send out maybe a 3rd one. Okay, so the bugs are back. Draft everybody prematurely. Get them on the roof. Ew. I didn't get any of that done. Let me see, what's the numbers? Oh, it's only 100. That's fine. I'll get that taken care of. So let me then go ahead and select. It's only 2 of my 7. There we go. That's 7 out of 7. Move over here. They're attacking my drone, so I need to engage them. Remove some of their number at the very least, if they'll engage. There we go. Perfect. Take down some of their number, make the attack a little bit easier on myself, which is something that you guys should always be working towards. Let's get down there and hit them. Get back up here quickly. Everybody's falling over asleep. And they're over here because Katina's asleep. I mean, I could go back and end the life, but as you see, they're starting to maneuver around. Come on, Katina. I need you to wake up. Draft. Bring you over. They'll get tired eventually. Ken, what are you doing? Nobody goes to sleep. Everybody comes around. And around. And okay, so it's gonna be fun. He's still picking parts. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a problem. These three that are deciding to attack my gates because, you know, A, Katina was asleep on the thing over there. Everybody's falling asleep. Just go take a nap, people. Jesus. All the sleep training in the world and you can't even stay up for an all-nighter? Ridiculous. Okay. Going to sleep? What do you mean going to sleep? Nope, now that they're in the traps, get out there and kill these three. Right now. I'm tired of them picking at my fence. And some of them are through because of, I'm not sure what. They got pushed through somewhere? Oh, right here. They broke my little gate. That's fine. That just means I pull my people out here. And then wait. They'll come. They'll come. Slowly but surely. And give me a ton of stuff to work on. I need to better fortify that wall. Seriously, why are you guys over here fighting a wall when you could be attacking me? Undraft. Everybody go to bed. There should be enough bleed damage. Or not. Did I draft everybody? Nope, of course I didn't, even though I selected the draft option. Let's just get them out here. So I'm not really sure why I got targeted as quickly as I did there. Like, it was rather recent that I had been attacked over here, as well as over here, by 300 bugs. 300 bugs, well, it was 280 something, but still, but 300 bugs, and then they're just like, oh, we're just going to attack you again moments after. Bit of an annoyance, not going to lie. It really makes it hard to reset my traps, which if I hadn't been able to reset my traps, they wouldn't even be halfway through this yet. Honestly, they could probably all be dead by now. But yeah, the game is starting to ramp it up, which is why I need to ramp up my efforts. 44 structures destroyed. Okay. Kill everything. I'm tired of them being alive. Let's end this. Come on. Hurry up and die. Let's go. Nobody gonna attack this bug? They're all just gonna stand there and watch. What are you guys even doing with your lives? Like, Samantha's not even out here. Go kill this one. None draft. Another attack, and well, I wouldn't really call that one a success. There was way too much that went wrong on that one. First off, why are they spawning inside my base? I don't like that. I don't like them spawning in my base. every time they spawn within my walls, everything goes, down the toilet. And it's not like they didn't have a section they can go through, and even that wasn't safe. They could just pass right through, but they decided to attack it. So, gonna need to fortify the walls even further. I'm gonna have to run another line in here. I'm gonna have to run another line out here. It goes all the way around, more or less. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put another wall all the way around my base. Let me see if adding the ranching stuff, let me see if that will do anything. And let's start with some animal sheds. And I'm going to make these out of sticks, as I have an abundance of sticks. Okay, so let me start from back here. Now go one from the corner. I'm gonna make a little section here for them. Okay. Make a little U-shaped section for them. Ew, uneven terrain. That's disgusting. No, well. Alright, so that could be one living section. And as you guys can see, I like to give them that little gap in the middle. And I feel like it'll allow me to see where they're at a little bit better, right? So let's kick this one off like that. I see, says the blind man. Nope, that isn't done correctly. That's done correctly. I'm going to leave it just like that. Now give the animal a way to get in, and then you have your big old sleeping compound. Next, the second compound. Okay, so I really can't do anything with this section here, so I might add some food to it. As that's going to be living section number 1 for the animals. Let me think of another section for them. I mean, I could technically get it figured out from here. Where is it going to end out? Right on that line? No, because of that one. This one's going to be a bit trickier. Alright, so I've got one compound. I just need 2 more. I'm not going to use this. I'm going to move it over here. All this uneven terrain's driving me nuts. Just had to get that spacing right so that I can see where the door was. There we go. And back to uneven terrain. Alright, so that could be a small little something. This was a bad area to put these, not gonna lie. I guess I could put more food stuff in the middle here. Like the various food items that they'd like to eat, perhaps. And then add in another little section. I did say I wanted to raise the 3 different creatures, so this would give me that ability to do so. How's does that go? Goes from the outside over here. And there. Alright, so I have a couple different sections for them to sleep. And then I also will have these over here. So next thing I need some large animal spots. And since it's going to be majority of my food stuff over here, I'm thinking let me add in these over here. The larger animals. That's not right. Oh, I see, says the blind man. Let me just do this then. Make the row along here. That one, and there. So that's about even as I can get it. Flop these over and see how many I can do. Starting from here, 1, 2, and 3. Go for the 4th. And then I'll leave that little gap. Then for over here, that's going to be the back section. Turn it around. Give me one moment. It sounds like somebody's trying to get into my car. Oh no, there's a guy parked right next to my car. Okay. Just had to make sure real quick. Alright, so I'm not entirely sure if the other ones will fit. Like these ones need the larger sleeping pens. These seem smaller, significantly. But the other guys, where are they at? Where's the Noth at? These guys, I think, need a large sleeping pen too. Yeah, they're almost the height of my my enclosure there. Alright, so allocate all of this over here to this. And then plenty of sleeping. Leave that open. Okay. Oh, nearly forgot. I have this side over here as well. And there we go. So, the final ones, the smaller animal spots. Hold on. I guess that's just for dogs. For small and medium animals. Nope. I'm going to line out all of this. If I have to break it, so be it. But I believe the smaller thing should have no problem fitting on these. You know, I think, keyword being I think, we all know what happens when somebody thinks. It usually doesn't go well. Or, we all know what happens when I think. That's when it doesn't go well. Okay, so that's all of that. Next thing I need, some animal feeders. Go with the wooden kind, and I'll place a couple here and there. That seems like a good spot. Over here seems like a good spot. And even right there seems like a good spot. So that's 3 feeders over here. Put one here, put one right about here, put one over here. Okay. And then last but not least, over here. Let's see, place that one. I'm going to need to place one about right here, place another one here, since this is a very large feeding space with a lot of animals. I'm going to need more food than the other locations, which only have 3 feeders each. That one has 4. Just because this little section here, that's 2, and this little section here, that's 2. Should be more than enough. As for the feeders themselves, let me go ahead and... Actually, I can't do anything. No, yeah, I can. I can deselect all the foodstuffs from them really quickly, so that nothing gets thrown into here to spoil. Did I already do all these? Yeah, I started with that one. Okay. Then the last 4 over here. One, 2, 3, and 4. I stand corrected. Sorry, I need to add in a couple more feeders. I'm going to place them onto the interiors over here. Each dog outfit will have their own meat supply, just to make sure that all of my animals will stay fed. Okay, and then after this is done, I'm going to need to introduce more drying racks. Where are my drying racks? I know I have one somewhere. There it is. Wait, this is a scrap metal one. I want the wooden one. Let me see. And I guess I can place them in here for now. There. 3 drying. Oh, lots of drying racks. Let me get a couple more. Who am I kidding? There we go. I'm going to want a lot of drying racks. So that means I can keep this one empty. Actually, I can remove this one. No, I can move that one. So let me cancel this one. No point in putting this to waste, you know? If I've already got the ability to place it, might as well. Why get half my resources back when I can just completely move the thing? Alright, so we need 869 wood and a couple electronics. Other than that, I say this was a decent video, aside from having to fix all this stuff over here. So with that being said, I have to repair stuff. Let me remove the salvage operations for Ken momentarily, so that he might be able to focus on repairing. And I'm not going to be able to get it done with just one person repairing, as you guys can see here. Ken needs to step up his game, get out there and get to work as well. Takes a village, apparently. Takes a whole village. So let me know what you guys thought of the video. If you'd like to see more content similar to what you've seen here, if you'd like me to talk about something else, yeah, I'm open for it. I'm open for suggestions, ideas, anything that I can better equip myself to please you better. It's all about pleasing you guys. Oh yeah. Honestly, I just do this for the fun of it. But if anybody gets any kind of kick out of this, it's a bonus. So I have a ton of work to do. A ton of work. Only so much time to get it done in. This game is probably going to send another wave of reinforcements after me. And I'm in desperate need of more fortifications. But at least I began processing the animal shelter. I've begun... let me just activate everything before I sign off. Construction, everything must be built. Everything must be built. The entire wall. The last wall. Bam. And that is all the yellow gone. And then slowly but surely, I will begin stockpiling more wood and getting it allocated into the proper channels and everything fortified. Oh yeah. It's gonna be good times, you guys. I think I'm also going to pre-plan my little extension on the wall here. I'm gonna run this bad boy all the way down. Oops. There we go. And then the same thing over here. No, we're not. Yeah, you thought, buddy. God. Alright, looks like I'm not going to defend the forward channel here. There's no point. Yeah, there's no point. However, there is a point in defending my crops. So there we go. And then I don't care about this, as it's already got layers to the onion. Alright, you guys, thank you for tuning in. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. You take care, you stay safe. I'll catch you in the next one. Later, guys.